Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you all are doing good. Now we are going to cover the complete data science project or the complete pandas project, I can say. Whole the data science whole life cycle I'm going to put all the steps I'm going to cover in this. It's going to be very interesting and very important because we are going to touch base all the concepts again through this project. So please start subscribing if you have not done that. All I need is your time. You need to invest your time. You need to learn. Then only you can go and crack your interviews, right? So let us start with our project for today. So guys, here we are with our first project. Like I have promised, I'm going through this project 1 and I'm going to show you another project just for better understanding of yours. You will get practiced with these things, right, along with me. So what are the steps first, guys? The first step is we have to import all our libraries. This is really important. In interview, they will ask questions. What is the first step? Tell me all the steps, how you are achieving your goal, or how you will get a cleaner data, how you will get a machine input data or machine ready data. So this is what your first step. First step here is your importing all your libraries, right? So I have taken my pandas, matplotlib. These are your base library for everything. Pandas, matplotlib.pyplot, seaborn, numpy. 4 libraries you have to give in input because we are going to utilize their functionalities. That is why you're importing, right? Then the next step, I am taking a very famous data set. I think almost everyone is giving this example. And the same thing I have taken house prices.csv, and I have already, you can see I have already load my data set. I have already taken my data set, this one, and I am getting head of it, and this contains these many columns. You can see date, price, then bedrooms, how many bedrooms in that particular house, bathrooms, square foot living, like that means what is the square feet of that living area, what is the square feet of lot area, how many floors are there present in that particular apartment, how many, like, do we have waterfront, do we have view, do we have condition, like what is the condition it is present, square feet above, square feet basement, year built, year renovated, street, in which street that apartment is present, in which city that apartment is present, state, zip, then country. So all this data we have loaded, right? Okay, after we, like, first step we are collecting the data. What is the next step? You have to know whether you have your data is clean or not, right? So that is a data cleaning operation, the next step. So first we were understanding the requirement, right? First you have to understand the requirement, and to understand the requirement, domain knowledge is the first and foremost thing. Okay, next thing is what? We have to collect the data. So we have collected our data here in this step. Next we have to do data cleaning. We have to perform data cleaning, right? What is the first step we have to do for performing data cleaning? We have to know whether we have null values present or not. So this is how I am able to get my data.info. With data.info is the first step by which I can get my null, like we can understand whether we have null values or not. And I have already explained this step. I'm explaining it again. We have something called range index, and where I am seeing, okay, what are the entries? That means what are the total number of rows present in my data set, and we have 4600 data entries present. We have 18 columns present. And if you see, for each column they have these values, and by seeing these values I can clearly see that I don't have any null values. So if you don't have any null values, do we have to treat it? We do not have to treat it until and unless you will scale or standardize them. Because sometimes what is happening, right? The data entry people or the data which you will get, there will be, some misleading values. as well. So how to clean that? By considering the like transformations or scaling techniques, right? With those, we can put it down. We can put it down in a normal scaling, or we can just put it down to a standard scale, or we can put it down to a min-max scale, and we can transform them. And we saw there are other methods also, like log transform, square root transform, and everything. So we can apply them, and we can see, okay, we can get it to the lower scale, right? So with that, we can avoid the data entry error, right? It's not like always, okay, if I do not have any null values, my data is perfect. It's not like that. There are other ways. There are other ways to understand whether your data is having any null values or not. So, or it's proper data or not. So, this is how we can see. Then here I have told that, okay, we do not have any null values present in data set. We have 4,600 entries and 18 columns. So, what is the next task, guys? We have completed our data cleaning. So, take one consideration that we have null values, and we understood that, okay, we have null values, we have to treat them. What we did, we have filled the null values with mean, median, and mode in case of categorical values, or you can just directly take median values, and you can just take the near values, like what is the highest value, and you can fill that up. Okay, so that is nothing but your imputation, right? Next, what is the next step? Once we got everything, what our data set usually contains? It contains numeric or categorical value, right? So numerical value we understood, okay, we can treat in this way. What about categorical? Categorical, what we can do, either we can, like the filling part, we know that we can fill it up with mode, or you can just see the maximum occurrence, whatever it is present, it is filling it up. Next, what we have to do? We have to divide our data sets based on the numerical or categorical, right? Because we have to apply our feature engineering, right? Feature engineering means what? We have to apply our encoding technique, our transforming technique, our scaling technique, right? So, or wherever, if you need any feature transformation, like if you want to combine feature transformation, if you want to drop features, you can do in that step. So after data cleaning, you can get, like you can put your data, or you can put your data in a EDA part, like you can explore your data. Next step, feature engineering will come. But before feature engineering, we need to understand, or we need to divide our data into categorical and numerical, right? So that is what I am doing. Okay. So what I like to understand, how many categorical and how many numerical data, what is the easiest method? We have pandas described, right? And I have taken that. You can see. And from this, I am able to say, okay, these are the values which are my numerical. And from the above description, we found that there are 13 numerical data and rest 5. We have 18 columns, right? So rest 5 are your categorical data. And whenever you are working with machine learning concepts, every time you will be having a target column. You need to, like most of the times you will get your target column, but when you are working, you should be able to understand that you should be having a target column. So when I'm talking about house pricing, what is the first thing it is coming to your mind? Price, right? So my price is my target column, and I like what I want to predict in my future. I want to predict that my price, I want to predict what is the house price if this is my trend, or this is what my data trend. If I'll give this particular data as input to my machine, and it will predict me what is the next price. If I'll give another input, is it going to predict me the correct price? That is what your goal. To achieve that goal, your target is your price column. So that is what I have mentioned here, right? And I am taking my data.columns just to, note down my numerical columns. You can see I have taken my numerical columns here. price, bedrooms, bathrooms, square feet living, square feet lot, floors, waterfront, fuel, conditions, square feet above, square feet basement, year built, year renovated. So these are my numerical columns and these are my categorical columns: street, city, state, zip and country. Okay. Then what is the next step here? I have to perform my EDA, right? I have to know how is the trend of my data, right? So for that, I have taken joint plot because it is a very large data set. It is having a lot of data, right? So for that, I have taken joint plot and I am taking hist and scatter. So the kind I have taken scatter and I am taking my square feet living and my price because these are the two factors for each and every house, right? I want to know what is the square feet area of my living area and what is the price related to that because price is my target, right? So I have to compare all the things with price. So you can see that most of the square feet living area or the square feet area is concentrating in this, right? It is concentrating in this, like it is telling that almost 6,000 square feet I can be able to see mostly. And there are few outliers, few are there with 14,000 and few are there with, on top. Like this is your price. So I think this is 2.5 lakhs, I believe, lakh dollars, I believe, and it's coming here, right? So you can see that there are few outliers and everything, but I'm not going to, it is manageable because if you see the large data, that is considerable, right? So if I'll come down, I have taken another pair plot. So again, what I have explained you about pair plot is going to give you all the data present, that is come first. All the data, it is going to give you the plotting and it is based on what type of plotting that's scatter plot. If it is a comparison between two variables and if it is a single variable, it is going to present all the single variables in a diagonal form of a histograms, right? The same thing we will see in this pair plot and however, yeah, we got it. So you can see, these are your histograms. These are your histograms. Most of the places we are getting histograms and mostly we are getting scatter plots, right? So you can see data are, if you see this, right, there are very few which I am able to see some discrepancies. Very few. It's not so high. Like you will compare this very large data set. This is fine. This is considerable. The next big concept what I have taught you is about heat map. Heat map is the best method to understand okay, so I could not convert string to float. So there are, okay, so I have to take heat map on, okay, I need to take my numerical value separately. So let me take a data set. Okay, let me take that. So the next step, what we did, guys, we have created our heat map. Okay, so for that, what I have taken, I have taken my numerical columns. Okay, because heat map you can. So what we did, we have taken all numerical columns. Okay, by taking that data select d types include int 64 and float 64. Then sns.heatmap. I am taking all numerical columns and this is a way like dot core if I'll do and not equal to true. Okay, that means I need all my annotations. B mean -1, that means I told you from I want to show from 1 to -1 and C map equal to boolworm. So C map we have, right, Burides, boolworm and there are few more. So this is how I am getting my heat map. And you can see I am getting all numerical columns here. Okay, all numerical columns and you can see that the values which are coming nearly equal to 1. that values are having, I told you, right, how to read it. Those values are having near, like, strongly correlated. So if you see here, we do not have as such. Yeah, here we have square feet above is having strong correlation. Then this bathrooms is having strong correlation. Then this is what? This is again square feet living is having strong correlation. I mean, it's almost near to your one, right? Then we have, I think, these are the, like, few, right, which are having strong correlation with price, because price is a target column, and we are seeing that, okay, which are the one are related to price a lot, of which are directly affecting price. And we saw that bathrooms, then the number of bathrooms, square feet living, then square feet, then which one I saw, square feet above, square feet basement. All these are directly correlating with your data set. Then, and what we understood, like, from this above plot, there is no much issues, like we can directly take them and we can proceed. So then after that, what is the next step, guys? Now we understood, okay, the relation. Now we completed the EDA part. Okay. Now we have segregated our numerical and categorical. First, we have completed our data cleaning. Then we have segregated, or we did some part of feature engineering there. Then what we did, we were trying to perform our EDA. Then what is the next step? We have to perform our feature engineering. So this inside that EDA only, guys, we have this data manipulation. All those steps are going to come. So we handled that already. Now we will see what is the next step we have to do for feature engineering. We have to work with features. So we have to drop the unwanted features first to perform, like to proceed further, right? So what I did, I had dropped my unwanted columns such as date. I do not need date. Like, why should I need date? I do not want to know that. Then year built, then year renovated, waterfront. Nobody cares, okay, why, like, do we have any waterfront? Do we have any park? Do we have any swimming pool? How good that view is? Okay, so, I mean, these requirements, they will keep, like, when you work in an organization, all these requirements you will be getting, and you need to try with different methods. So, like, according to me, these things matters less. So I am dropping them. Okay, and after dropping, I'm getting the head of it, which contains only these columns. So my price is my target, guys. So you do not have to touch that, because that's going to be going under train test split, and that's going to go under Y train. Okay. Then we have, like, what are the columns we have left? Bedrooms, bathrooms, square feet living, square feet lot, floors, conditions, square feet above, square feet basement, street, city, state zip, and country. We were left with this many. Now, if we see this, are we like either you can what I'm saying, that you can scale these columns first, like scale these numeric columns first. Then after that, you can go ahead and apply encoding techniques for these. Or else, if most of the times you want to know how your machine is going to give you the output, right? So first step, you can give input directly by keeping this normal or this numerical values, right? You can do that. Or else you can scale them and you can keep everything in one scale. That part we can do. But what is the next step? We can perform our encoding techniques, right? So for that, what do we have to do? We have to know how many are the nominal, how many are the ordinal, right? So if you see, are we seeing, like, if you see these 4 columns, are we seeing any ordinal data? We are not. So all are nominal data. However, these are heavy nominal data. Like, heavy quantity these data are present, or I can say the more frequency is present for each and every data. So if you see that, okay, so if you see that I have taken each unique value and I am taking the count of it. So just see how heavy it is, right? So I've taken data drop, and the first one I'm taking street and I'm counting the unique value, and I'm just seeing that 4525 unique values are there. However, what is the shape of my data? If I'll see data underscore drop dot shape, I can see that I have almost 4600 rows and 13 columns are present. So that means almost each and every row, my street is unique. It's not like it's repeating, or this is a some category or something. However, it is repeated, right? How can we achieve it? So we understood something on mapping method, right? Or that mapping method is on calculating your value count or your frequency encoding, correct? That step we can apply here, right? And the next step, what I did, I have taken my unique values of cities and I'm getting almost 44, right? Count here. That means I can say, okay, in each and like in the line of 100, there are, one city is repeating. Then I have state zip. State zip again, it is coming 77 unique values I'm talking about. Then I have country, only one country is there in that. The next step is what, guys? I have to, for frequency encoding, I have to calculate my value counts or the number of counts I'm going to get. So you will see, I have taken a variable. This is the same way, guys, like the way we are calculating. I'm taking variable street counts and I'm printing it, and you can see that for each it is giving me the count. Then what is the next step, guys? We have to map it. And when we'll map it, it is going to take all those street values and it is going to map with the count, or it is going to replace with the counts. And I am going to get my street encoded value column. So if we'll run this, and if I'll run again the head of it, I can see that I am getting my street encoded as a column, right? And what it will contain? It will contain all my value count or my repeated counts for each street. Then next step is what, guys? Same step we can repeat because we have heavy nominal values present here. So see, you can see that I have these many city counts present, like Seattle present in 1573, and like that we have so many. And the same thing we can do, we can change our city and we can just map it like this, and now we are getting city encoded. So we got street encoded, we got city encoded. Then the next step, what we can do, you can get the state one, and you can just see we are getting like this, and you can apply the map, and after that I am getting my country encoded. And for country, what we can do, we can get the get dummy. Sorry, if you will not do anything, it is not going to convert it to numerical, right? So you can see my country encoded is coming as 1 because we have only one value. Now what is the next step, guys? Now we have encoded our values or our columns or the categorical columns, we can drop them, right? So I did the same. I have dropped my existing the categorical values, and now if you'll see the head, I am getting like this. Now you can perform, or you can directly push all this data to your scaling technique. Now either two things you can do. Either you can give this as an input to your machine, right? And we will understand those concepts on machine learning concept. And so till this point, guys, we have to understand each and every core concept, because once machine learning starts, right, it is just hardly 5 or 6 lines of code and you will achieve everything there. Then after that your machine is ready to predict. So till this, it is your job to understand completely. So here I have written the same line that either you can give input to machine directly, or you can check. First, you can check the accuracy by giving it a try. Then after that, you can apply transform. And the next step, what I did, I am applying my transform. So I am getting all my columns here, right? Then after that, I am applying my scale, min max scaler to apply my transform, fit and transform I am doing. And I am taking all my country encoded, I think this is. So I have taken all my columns, you can see, and this is the method, right? MMS dot fit underscore transform is the method. And I'm taking all columns of my data dropped, right? And I'm applying it. Then after that, I'm taking my data into X, or I'm creating a data frame. Now I can say that this is going to be my X train. This is going to my X train, and Y train is my price. So we will understand in our machine learning how we will divide X train, Y train, X test, Y test, and we will give input to machine. So this is how we can understand, or the relation, how, like, we understood all these steps. Let us revise again what we did. We have collected the data, we have domain knowledge, we are set there, we collected the data, we move ahead. Then after that, we have cleaned the data. For cleaning, what are the steps? We have is NA method, is null method, fill NA method. So you are cleaning and replacing with the, like, all the null values with the values, mean, median and mode. So we completed our data cleaning operation. And at the same time, we have created our, we have performed our data manipulation. What are the things we did at the same time? We have created our data frame, right? We have created our data frame. We understood the info part of the data where we are able to understand. So data manipulation and data cleaning are going hand in hand all together. Then after that, what is the next step? We have to perform our EDA, exploratory data analysis, because we have field data right now, and we have performed our exploratory data analysis by considering various features. I have taken joint plot, pair plot and heat map. Heat map is better to understand the correlation, which are highly correlated with the price. Price is a target column. You have to detect a target column. Then we did that. Then after that, what is the next step? Our next step is to understand the feature engineering part. Feature engineering is the most important part. For feature engineering, we have to understand which are the numerical columns, which are the categorical columns. For all numerical columns, either you can perform scaling techniques and you can scale it down to a normal scale, or you can directly give input to that, but better we can wait to convert the encoding part first, then after that you can go ahead with scaling. So you will, for encoding part, I have taken, I want to know which encoding suits better. I have to know which are the nominal data, which are the ordinal data, and nominal data, if it is nominal data, which are heavily, heavy categories are present in that particular nominal data. I have taken that. If it is heavy, then I have applied my frequency encoding or ordinal encoder you can use by pre-processing, SKLM pre-processing module. You can perform that. Then we will get our encoded columns, and after getting encoded columns, you have to drop your original columns because those are your categorical values, right? So we did that. Then after that, what we have done, we have seen our final data or final data frame or the final data set which we have. Now we will see, okay, either we can perform that, we can give input to machine directly, that one, or we can scale it down. So first step we can do, we can give that directly and we will see what is the accuracy coming. if a machine accuracy, and there are so many methods to detect accuracy in machine, we will understand in our machine learning concept. So the first step, you can see that what is the accuracy percentage coming. If it is coming more than 75 or more than 80, it is a better one. You can give it a try by giving scaling, and you can see whether your accuracy is increasing more, and you can tweak some of the data in those kind of cases. So like that, guys, you can we are completing with our steps, right? So if interviewer will ask all these questions, this is how you can answer. So we understood one project, guys. We will understand another one in our upcoming videos. Till that time, see you. Bye. Well, that is all for now. I'm going to cover another project for you. If I'm leaving anything in between, I'm going to cover in that project. So stay tuned to this channel. Start subscribing, like, share your comments, share your feedback, share this channel link to all your friends. We are going to start with our machine learning very soon. Those are really good concepts, and I do not want to miss it because I'm going to make each and every concepts really easy for you to understand. So please start subscribing. Thank you so much till this point of time. See you.